Welcome everybody to the patch 25.22 tier list. In this video, we're going to be ranking all of the mid laners and going to be discussing the changes made in the new patch. Last patch was looking somewhat like this, and there's been quite a bit of mid lane changes, especially in regards to runes and setups, plus a few buffs and nerfs. We're just going to be breaking them down one by one. I personally think we should start with getting a holistic picture of the runes and basically general mid lane changes. Did you get the chance to read through them already or not?
Briefly. I'm not super in depth with it.
Okay. Let's just start at the biggest change probably, which is Phase Rush. Phase Rush is going to get his slow resistance slightly removed from 75 to 50%. This is still going to be good against slows, but it's not going to be like you can't slow anyone anymore with this rune. What do you think of this?
I think for mid specifically, it's going to be really hard to notice, in my opinion, right? Like the amount of times you get, like, how often is it really that this slow resist is the reason why you escape? It's not that often, right? So it's only it's not like not even that big of a nerf. Like it's 25%, but it's not really the end of the world. I think, most of the time you're taking phase rush to, escape high threat champions regardless, so they don't even get in range of you anyway. So yeah, it is a hit, but I don't think it's really the end of the world. I think it's not going to change that much.
Okay. I think some camps are going to get hit harder than others. I think if you look at the likes of Taliyah, she is struggling a little bit more than, for example, the like of Ryze. Ryze got a little bit of extra move speed in his kit. Ryze usually takes celerity. So Ryze is just going to be fine with this. But I think that a champ like Taliyah will sometimes get hurt by it. And there's, of course, some junglers that really love this. For example, the likes of Trundle can potentially now find more angles on mid. And they do kind of counter the likes of these phase rush immobile champions. So I think that it's probably a fair change. I think it's a fair change.
Yeah. I think so though.
And I do think some champs are going to get hit by it. I think Taliyah, maybe a bit of Orianna in some situations. I do think Ryze is probably going to be fine. Is this going to change any of the tiers?
Nah, not really.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. Now, some other more important changes to be aware of is that cashback gets a change, and it's a 2% increase of item percentage cashback that you get back. I know, for example, that currently you need to have basically like two full items. And then you break even with magical footwear, which is the other option, that 3, right?
Yeah.
So most of the time you go magical footwear because only this item becomes better at 3 items plus. And magical footwear also gives 10 extra move speed, which is just really strong.
Yeah.
So now we're going to actually have a position where cashback is going to give you more money back at 2 items compared to footwear. So the scaling is a little bit better. But is this worth the breakpoint of also getting the 10 extra move speed that you get from footwear? What do you think?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think cashback is a rune that is, in a way, kind of snowbally, as weird as that sounds, right? Like, the more ahead you are, the more ahead it gets you, right? Like, if you're really behind, it's not going to offer you anything. Whereas, like, if you're a champ that's like domination tree, and then you take the buff time war tonic that we're going to discuss later, and then you take cashback, and you take treasure hunter, right? And you're like a Talon, and you're running around the map killing people, and then you're getting your 2 items instantly, then I could see it being good. But I think for like a traditional control mage that's playing, a nice, tidy, slow, controlled game, I think I'd personally still rather have the boots and the 10 movement speed. So I think for like some specific assassins that run Treasure Hunter, I think this could be quite nice though. Or like a Twisted Fate, I think this could be good on Twisted Fate as well.
I can see it. Yeah, I would personally go magical footwear still on Syndra. But I really want to put this in perspective because I've coached and seen a lot of lower elo games. If you're playing below silver, consider this. If you're going to be taking the inspiration page anyway. Because these games go 4 or 5 items often.
Yeah.
So if you can reach it earlier, probably quite a bit of value to be gained there. So I think it is going to be scaling with the lower elo the games are being played in, the better this rune is actually getting. Biscuits. This was a bit of a deserved nerf because they nerfed second wind.
Second wind, yeah. So everyone just won Biscuits afterwards.
Doing the exact same thing.
Yep.
Now, what they're slightly changing is they're changing a little bit less HP when it comes to the maximum amount of HP that you're regenerating. This is 0.5%. Okay? if we look at this from a champ like Zindra's perspective, 700, 800 HP when you usually pop these biscuits, 0.5%, that is, how much health are we talking about?
Not a ton, like 3, 4.
Is that little, actually?
Yeah.
Oh. That's kind of the exact same change they did to second win.
Yeah, exactly. Very similar to second one.
Yeah. So
but
how
also,
strong do you
Biscuit gives
think
you
this is?
30 flat HP, right? It gives you 90 flat health, which that's a lot of stats. That is a lot
That's
of
a lot of
stats.
stats.
Like 200 gold of stats. It's like a ruby crystal. Have a ruby crystal.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really good item, actually.
Yeah.
So this is probably... Do you think this is still going to be better than second win for mages in these matchups?
That's tough. That's really hard to say and predict. I think it's one of those things we have to fill it out. I think what it's contingent on is how good is your secondary rune. Like, are you really hypervaluing on flinching? Right, like you're playing against Ori. I think it'll be better to have second win biscuits. You play against a mage that doesn't have CC, like off the top of my head.
Victor.
Yeah, like Viktor. Yeah, exactly. Like Viktor. Then I think biscuits is gonna be better. Yeah.
I think that's the exact way you want to frame it. I love that.
Yeah.
Good framing. A little bit of Hill of Blades buffs for the Echo Enjoyers under us.
Yeah.
Definitely a nice change. Plotline doesn't really matter for mid. Move speed. Ooh, I want to hear your take on this. What do you think about the move speed chart?
I think it's good on the champions it's good on. What I mean by that specifically, I think champs like Veigar is gonna love this. Ryze loves this. Like even like Vlad potentially could love this. Like these like more like niche mids in terms of like the way they scale. There's how they deal damage. Asol maybe even. I think they are gonna love this. And I think the traditional mages, I still think I'd rather have flat EP because laning is like having a good lane is too powerful in those champs. But like on those other champs, Cassio, like stuff that has like niche ways to scale their kit, really, really, really good, really, really good. Because 2.5% move speed is a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah. So how much are we talking about? Because I think Ryze, we're talking Ryze 340 base move speed right here. 0.5%. We're basically talking 2 move speed, 1.5 2 move speed extra.
Yeah.
And you usually didn't always take this rune. So if you're going to be playing Ryze with this, you're going to be getting about 8 extra move speed. Now, you're already playing as a Syndra with 330. I think it's 330, 335 move speed versus a champ like Ryze, which takes celerity as well, which is also like a percent. And then you're now running up against someone with 350 move speed, just running at your face, dodging every single spell without T1 boots even.
Yeah.
Problematic.
Yeah.
Problematic. I think it's good on champs like Ryze indeed. But on a champ like Syndra, I wouldn't take it because it fucks your wave clear breakpoint. You need to have that early AP to get waves out at level 4 and at level 5.
Yep.
Okay. Triple tonic.
Like this
now.
change.
Well, yeah, do you like it?
Yeah.
Okay. I like it too as well. What do you like about it?
I think this is good when you're in a matchup where you feel like you can, where you don't need sustain, where you're in the upper hand. Like I think Viktor versus Ari. If I'm the Viktor, I think I would love this because your 60 gold is a lot, and that's 3 melee minions for free. It's like pretty much you denied the enemy 3 melees. You can view it like that, right? That's how much extra gold you're getting over them for having this rune. And then you get the level up at level 9, so you're playing a mage that has 2 good spells. Like you want to max, right? Ori, Viktor, Syndra, any of these, really nice. And then 10 extra AP. That's 200 gold of stats on your all in. So I think this is just a very like, it's interesting because it's conditional. But then when you meet the conditions for it to be good, it's really strong, right? Which I like. I think that's how rune should be, right? When you fulfill the conditions of the rune, it's going to be really strong.
Have you ever played against someone and thought, oh man, the Vector triple tonic is too overpowered?
When I get Syndra, yeah.
all right.
I'm just to give that one for free.
fair. That's maybe the only champion then. So Syndra is like the perfect abuser.
Yeah,
she loves the gold. She loves the skill point. And her all-in is so conditional, by the way.
Yeah,
she can choose to press the R button, and before that, she can press it. It's amazing.
Yep.
Love this change. I'm a big fan of the change.
Yep.
Yeah, good stuff, right? Keep it up.
Yeah, these are good. These were good changes.
Great. So, runes, overall, don't be shocked. It's just, in my opinion, power-neutral runes. Some runes were overpowered, like Face Rush, like Cookies. They're going to be still good. Some runes that were already decent are still now really decent.
Yep.
So don't think anything crazy about these rune changes.
Yep.
Now, what we're going to talk about is some changes when it comes to Akshan. Because Akshan has been strong. We put him in the previous tier list in the S tier, and deservedly so. He loses 20 flat base HP, and his Q cooldown goes up by 1. What do you think of this?
I love this change a lot because I think it doesn't hit him in bad ways that makes him remove his identity, right? Because he should be this one item spiking. You get Shiv, you be a menace around the map, you get those resets, right? And you get Prio post level 9. I think that is a healthy spot for Akshan. What I think is really unhealthy for Akshan is be able to constantly cycle the Q and then E on top of somebody. Q, E on top of somebody. Q, E. That's I don't like. And so base HP changes are the best way to hit those champions early game because 20 health is as if you hit him with Scorch like twice or 3 times at the start of the lane. So you combine that with Scorch, you play Viktor with Scorch and Shield Bash. That's going to make a difference, man. You might be able to hold your ground with that 20 HP nerf. And then that Q hits his, the toxic play pattern where you max E and you're just fishing for Q every time. And it's perfectly 2 Qs for 1 E on the cooldown at 8 seconds, I think. When you're maxing the E. So I think this incentivizes Q, and it makes it a lot more healthy to play against Akshan, I think. So really, really, really good changes in the right direction, in my opinion, against Akshan.
Especially because the champs that are like supposedly countering him, like the Syndra, like the Viktor, like these mages that can outrange him and poke him down. This 20 extra base health change is massive for them because Akshan plays on all-in windows most of the time. And if he does not have the HP to get these all-in windows going, then it's so much easier to just poke about, keep him stuck in lane. And I've seen what Phantasm can do on this champ.
Yeah.
You know, I think this champ is deservedly deserves this nerf here.
Yep. Good
it's
change.
good. So, do you think it changes his approach because he had him low S tier?
I do think so.
I think so as well.
I think like A tier because now I look at some of these higher tier champs on the list. Aurora's gonna be a lot more happier level 1 and 2, right? Viktor's gonna be a lot more happier level 1 and 2. Wei, Ori, like these guys can actually kind of stand their ground a little bit better against the early game, which allows them to play the game a lot better, right? So I think A.
I agree. If you're still an Akshan OTP and you're really good at managing your trades and you're really good at getting that passive out attack onto the enemy laner, and you know how to like do that second attack on longer range, you're still going to be just fine. But otherwise, it's definitely going to be a significant nerf to less good Akshan players. Not bad. Next up, we have Aesol. Aesol gets a small little change when it comes to extra base move speed. Crazy high.
Plus the move speed chart too, right? Think about that as well.
I'm not sure if it's that good on Aesol.
I know because you need to move around, but what I'm thinking of the move speed shard is that if you take it, makes it a lot easier to dodge skill shots in lane, right? So even though the W, like you're using W for mobility, so the move speed does nothing later in the game. Like I'm just imagining first 6 levels against Syndra, you're walking up with an extra 7 movement speed compared to last patch, right?
Okay, let's analyze this.
Because a lot of his damage comes from his Stardust, not his AP, right? So you gotta keep that in mind as well.
Yeah, what I'm really curious about, right, is it definitely affects his
speed of how fast the fly goes. Yeah.
Yeah, but another thing to note is that if you take the move speed shard, it might affect with some early game breakpoints where you can potentially stand your ground or not with your Q or find W windows.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm not sure what the exact.
We're not Aesol experts, but I think that's just food for thought. Where potentially, consider if you guys are Aesol main, try the move speed shard with this and see how you like it.
That's right. And there's also a slight bit of a burst damage increase, which I think they mean with burst damage.
That means when you
secondary.
When you hold Q, it like puts the little mark, and then when the mark blows up, that's what it is.
Yep, slight bit of extra
which
damage.
is a good change because like the tapping Q is really toxic. So I like the if they buff the burst, we have to hold it down.
Yeah. So we had Aesol put in B tier. These changes are pretty significant. 5 move speed is legit.
Yeah.
It's legit, especially on good hands players.
Here's the thing though, right?
Just
really quick food for thought. Because they nerf the sustain, right? Which hurts him, right? The second wind and biscuits hurts him a lot more when you play Aesol versus Viktor than before, right? So my question is this a net neutral for him, or is it still an upgrade? Given the sustain nerfs.
That's a tricky one because he does have now the option to maybe play more offensive
Yeah.
defense.
Maybe you play
Maybe
really
he has the
aggressively.
option to have
Yeah.
more wave clear as well. I don't
Yeah.
know what the exact breakpoints are.
Yep.
So
Tough one.
the reality is, I can guarantee you, he won't be higher than A tier.
Yeah, no way. I'm looking
No
at
way.
the champs in A. Absolutely not.
I don't think so. And I think that still he's going to struggle with a lot of these champs. I do think that he can probably match up against some other champs in here. I think he can do
He feels
fine.
similar to
Sorry.
Mel, kind of. Like, I think if Mel was there, I think I'm happy with Ace with buffs being kind of similar.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. It's hard to really quantify
Shot in
because
the
we're
dark.
both not ASO players.
Yeah.
Okay? So we're going to shove him in bottom A.
And just
But
check him up next patch.
yes. And just keep in mind that this is somewhere his range.
Yeah.
Okay? This is his range somewhere. And we're going to revisit this next patch indeed. Now, one that you're really happy with. Leblanc.
I love
and I'm
these
going to be
changes.
honest.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's really deserved. It's really, really deserved. Less health growth, less armor. She already was insanely squishy. She is way more squishy right now. This is going to be hurting a lot.
Those ADC mids are going to be misery for her now, which is good.
Yes.
Very good.
So she was one of the best champs in the patch. She was big S plus tier.
Yeah.
The real question is, how much is this going to affect? Now we got 3 HP per level. Now let's take about level 9, right? We got about 30 HP.
Yep. Give or take.
Not too bad.
Mm-hmm.
0.5 armor per level. It's about a clot armor.
Quite
Usually
significant. Yeah.
at full at level 18 is clot armor, so it's about 4 armor. I don't know what the exact calculations are, but I think it's gonna be a decent hit.
Yeah.
Actually. And you know why that's the case, guys? Because LeBlanc needs to jump in to deal damage.
Yeah.
When they did this to Syndra, it mainly affected lower elo players. But on LeBlanc, it actually affects her ability to jump in and not get one shot.
Yeah.
So I think she is still probably playable, but I don't think she's gold tier S plus.
Yeah,
anymore.
definitely not. Definitely not.
Yep. I'm happy to put her in S tier for now. What do you think?
Yeah, I think S tier is good. I was thinking A, but I don't think so. She still does well until a lot of these matchups.
Yeah, and especially with some changes that they made to the sustain rooms with the biscuits.
Yeah, that's true. And she gets time more tonic if that's good. I don't know how good that is on LeBlanc, but
I never take it. There's better options.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I still think she's really good. Next up, now feel free to take it away, AJ. Yone.
Yeah,
Once
to be honest,
every patch.
yeah, to be honest, I think this time around, guys, I'm going to keep it brief because we talked about him every patch for literally like 8 patches in a row. So if you want to hear my, like, nothing has changed in terms of what my thoughts are, but this is a step in the right direction. Because after the AD buffs, I was already making him work. Because the style that I play is you play offensive defense, right? Where you play for the wave clear, you keep the enemy trapped on their lane, use the threat of your Q3, rather than just sitting there and tanking infinite damage with D-Shield Second Wind, right?
Yeah.
So long story short, TLDR is this helps him push yourself in that direction, right? You can play more for the level 1 wave clear, which is really powerful if you're good at doing it. It's just hard, right? But it's really strong when you can do it, and that's getting buffed. It buffs the scaling even more with the crits. And a buffs the skill expression, right? Because I think the Q is the most skill expressive spell in his kit, in my opinion. So I love this change. I think this is a change in the right direction. I think this should push him up. He's definitely not D tier with this buff. And if you guys are struggling with Yone, I highly, highly, highly recommend you guys learn how to play the style where you need to be playing a little bit more aggressively on the waves, be playing for Pry a little bit more, trying to stack your Q3 off Raptors, and playing for shove. And I think if you can utilize that, these Q buffs with the AD buffs, this can help offset the D-Shield second wind nerfs that hurt him really, really bad, right? So I think in the right hands, he's quite good now with those buffs. But he's even harder than he was before, and he was already difficult, right? So that's my TLDR of it. If you want even more explanations, the other patch notes, I went into even more detail. Otherwise, I think he's probably high C again, maybe low B. I could see him being in low B now. Like if you're really good at Yone, low B. Otherwise, a little bit more new to him, I think he's still more of a counter pick. So that's how I feel about him.
Yeah, so I feel pretty adamant about these changes because, like you mentioned, the wave clear aspect of this is
Yes,
really
very
good.
good. Yes.
And we got to put this in perspective, right? The main problem point and the reason why it was D tier is because at high elo, Yone is just hard.
Yeah.
Because people know how to punish this guy. And with the change to second D shield was too much.
Yep.
Now, what we have to understand is that in lower elos, Yone wasn't necessarily bad by any means. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, I think that last patch buffs actually did him really well in
Yeah.
lower elos.
Yeah, I think so
And
too.
this is also going to do him really
That's
well.
true. Yeah.
So I think if you can now manage him in high elos a little bit better by playing on the waves, I think he's definitely B tier.
Yeah.
But it's just about how much impact it's going to have on your wave clear. What exactly are the breakpoints? That's up to you to figure out, AJ.
Yeah. Well, because the thing is, I already know, but without even playing
You
what the
already know?
breakpoints are.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
the pickaxe level 9 will kill the casters now. I already know that with the
One
580
pickaxe Q with
with
9.
W at level 9 will kill the casters. Yeah.
Interesting.
So that will increase his wave clear. Yeah, just from my experience, I'm a little bit biased. Like I'm thinking, for me myself personally, right? If this was just me, if this is about just for me playing Yone, right? I'll put him in an A or even S. But like I've seen how many people struggle with the champ, and that was with D Shield second one being good, right? So I don't feel comfortable putting him so high when like you play against Jace or LeBlanc, you don't know the matchup, you're just gonna get completely
Yeah.
eviscerated. You're gonna be 0-10. So I think a nice middle ground between people who are like, if you're like an average Yone player, I think he'll be like C or B. And as you get more and more games, like, you know, get 200, 300, 400 games of Yone, he's going to start to shoot up the ranks, in my opinion. And he does pretty well to a lot of the matchups up there, right? Like Galio, Talia, Ori, Ari, Yone, or sorry, Yasuo, Cat, Silas, like all these champs and Asol. He does well into these. So just be on the lookout for him. And if you like Yone guys, I think he's getting to the point where it's worth investing into him again, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we had some questions in the comments about in the last
Yep.
video, which went over some great questions. We're gonna start off with why, Tim. What the hell? Why is Ryze just the best mid on the patch? I don't understand it. I don't see them in my games. What is going on? Why do you guys put him at the best mid lane? Are you guys delusional?
We
That
might
was
be.
the question. Maybe we are. No, I've got pretty strong opinions on why Ryze is the best mid in the patch. I'll
Yep.
just list 3 reasons and you can take it from there, okay?
Yep.
He's tanky as fuck. He has
Yep.
a lot of push. And his side laning is really good.
Yep.
Take it from there. What else has he got?
Okay. So yeah, just again, guys, to reiterate, the way you win games as mid is you need control over the game, right? You need push, you need priority, you need first move, you need you need scaling. Guess what? Ryze has all that, as Tim just said, right? In mid game, you get pushed pretty much against most mid lane champions of the game, which is such a massive deal. And I've seen so many in our coaching sessions, like master players, they can't get pushed on their mage and they really struggle to figure out what they're supposed to be doing, right? Ryze gives you that, not for free, but Ryze has the edge there, right? You get,
Yeah.
the ability to have a strong laning phase, right? Ryze has a very strong laning phase. You get to learn a lot of mid lane fundamentals with lane. He scales well with your fundamentals, and he gets, again, push in lane, right? Which, again, is really, really important the first 15 minutes of the game. And he's got that scaling X factor, right? Like he has that inevitability where like once you hit level 16 Ryze, you're really, really OP and you're like 3-shotting everyone, right? 2 or 3 EQs, you kill everyone, right? And the thing is with Ryze, it's just hard, right? As we said time and time and time again, if you do all of these things well and you understand mid lane fundamentals well, you understand getting priority well, you understand how to use priority, which is important, well, he's really strong. But if you're not doing that and you're having just a mediocre lane, you're getting caught and dying with your low mobility before you scale, you're just not getting pushed in lane, then yeah, he's gonna feel like complete trash, to be honest. He's gonna feel awful. And I'd rather you just play different champs. So he's just hard, right? He's very, very, very hard.
Yeah, and because of the vast amount of options that you have, right? You're gonna get pushed.
Yes.
And you can do anything.
Yes.
Picking the right option means that Ryze skills with game understanding.
Yes.
The higher you go, the better his champ becomes.
Yes.
And this champion is therefore quite challenging. I played a Ryze game today, and the truth is, right, and I want to show it to you guys so you guys see it as well. The truth about this Ryze game is that I was playing versus an Echo and versus a Gangplank. And Echo just had zero opportunity.
Yep.
He can't play the game. He was getting pushed in 24/7. He was losing trades, even if he jumped onto me. all I can do is I can just stand there, stand my ground. I'm pushing him in 24/7, slow pushing. He gets a decent trade onto me, jumps onto my face here, but it doesn't matter because Ryze can just kind of stand his ground.
Yeah.
Even if Echo lands the Q, it's fine. You can do your thing. You can get perma prio. Echo can't play the game, and you can just start impacting the map. And this is kind of what happens where you kind of play this game 5 versus 4, and you can hover towards your jungle, you can make plays around the map, complement them, pin this guy in the lane, and you buy tanky stats so that you don't even lose the trades. You buy the strongest items in the game at the moment. It's very oppressive, this champion. Really oppressive. Plus, you can create mana advantages whenever you want in the side lane. Bam, ult in, number advantage, brute force a play. You can force enemy mistakes and really abuse them.
Yeah. And there's a reason why pro players pile Ryze in every Fearless. Like his pick ban is like insane. Like upper 90s or something, I think, or 80s or something. Like it's not like a 0 Ori, but it's close. Or Aurora. I think he's like below those in terms of priority.
Yeah, he's up there, right? He's the most picked, right?
Exactly. So there's a reason why he's the most picked. Yeah, that's right.
Really, really, really good. Okay, Viktor. We had an amazing comment, right? And that comment went something along the line of, I see Viktor in S tier. You guys must be completely, you must be completely delusional. You guys have no clue what you're talking about. He's one of the worst champs in Master Plus for centuries now. Let's unpack this, right? Let's see if that's actually the case. Because we put him in the S tier, and we, of course, got our reasons for that. Let's just start with analyzing Viktor, right?
And before we even look at this, I guarantee you the reason why the win rate is low is because of Roa. I guarantee you that. I bet if we look at that, the win rate is going to be shit because of Roa. But let's see. I haven't looked at this, so let's take a look.
Exactly. So this is 21. We're on 22 right now. Honestly, not terrible, not super good, pretty average.
Yeah. So maybe slightly below average.
It's quite a big gap here.
Yep.
Right, and we've been analyzing this.
We've been talking
like
about this
8 patches ago.
Yes. We said this before. Yeah.
Exactly. And the lower you go, by the way, in MMR, the more the building mistake is actually being made.
Yeah.
You're going to see that a lot. Now, Viktor's stats don't necessarily like jump out to be S tier. And I understand the comment, right? I understand where he's coming from if you just purely look at stats. But remember what you just said about how mid laners are supposed to win right now?
Yeah.
Can you repeat that and why Viktor then actually plays the game well?
Yep. So what we need is, again, first 15 minutes, the most important part of the game. Guess what? Viktor has extremely strong laning phase. His first 15 minutes is one of the strongest of any mage, if not the strongest, in my opinion, right? You want some sort of scaling X factor. Guess what? He has great scaling, right? You want the ability to contest prio on the side at the very least. Guess what? Viktor's probably the best 1v1ing mage out of all the classic control mages, right? And so he has the full suite of tools to be a good mid laner, right? Those are like the key things. Like you want some sort of scaling, you want control and prio over lane, and you want to be able to take control of mid game and get pushed in mid game and be first to place, right? Which Viktor has all that. He's all of that.
Exactly. Viktor has everything. He has the tools to create that priority. And post E upgrade, which comes very early, like level 7, level 8, right? Very early in the game, you can just get perma prio. And you can ward and lean towards one side of the map, take control, and do whatever you want. And that's why Viktor is so incredibly good. The only problem is that a lot of people struggle. Exactly, because if you make 1 or 2 mistakes where you don't isolate the lane, right? Because Viktor is really good at isolating lane, but if you don't isolate the lane, you end up in 2v2s, you end up in these awkward skirmishes,
then he's
that's when this champ's dog shit.
Yes, that's right.
But how good are you at playing towards your strengths and pinning the enemy down in lane, taking these small win trades, warding and leading properly so you're not vulnerable to ganks, getting towards that E upgrade and then taking control? If you can do that, this champ is easily S tier.
Yeah, agreed.
Easily S tier.
And to be clear, guys, it doesn't mean he's better than Ori, right? Not at all. But what we're saying is that he is a competitive high elo mid lane mage, right? Like if you're picking him, you're in a good spot. And even in my own solo, I've been learning Viktor. I'm on my 1K LP account, or I'm almost 1100 LP, and I've been killing with Viktor. I think I have a 58% win rate with him, right? And my Hui and Ori are even lower than that. So and that's because I understand how to use his strengths really, really well, and how to play mid lane, like how you win games in mid, right? When the second you deviate from the classic fundamental style of mid lane, and you start doing all this crazy stuff with Viktor, you're just gonna lose every single game, right? Or you buy Roa and you're not aggressive in lane, and then you lose the game, right? That happens as well, right? So it's either if you guys are struggling with Viktor, you're probably in one of those two camps, or maybe even both, right? Um, but yes, I think he's very, very good. He has major weaknesses, but you just offset them by playing good fundamentals on mid, and you'll be good to go.
Yep. Every single time I've played against like 4 or 5 Victors. I've struggled every game.
Yeah,
Purely because of
lane
his
is so
lane
hard.
dominance.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's right.
This is really, really good laner. So, we also had some question about some other champs that are a little bit less, a little bit less frequent on mid.
Yeah.
And we're going to also say why that's the case. And we're also going to give them a little bit of a ranking, explain why they're not actual mid laners, and what their viability in the meta currently is. I want to start off with Riven. And I'll take it away, because there's one thing I just want to say. Bone plating. Okay? Riven is a bit like Fizz, but then she can't really get onto you like Fizz, in a way. And that makes it pretty hard to play this champion, because of the fact that if you can't get onto someone, especially like mages, think of it, how to play Riven into the likes of Ryze plus bone plating. How to play Riven into the likes of Zinra plus bone plating. It's very, very hard. There's only specific combos that you can use to catch the enemies off guard with, like doing your Q3, that you had like delay your Q3, and you can get an extra Q. It's very challenging to get that going, especially on mid lane. So he's really niche. She can work in some matchups, especially melees, but she's just not consistent enough, way too hard, has very limited access to the wave unless you are like actively dominating or really good at baiting out spells, and therefore Riven is just not that good.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. Honestly, I think she can be like, just like every champ that's not listed here, they can be good, right? If you either have really high mastery on them, or you know the matchup is better, right? Or you play in a counter pick. That's good, right? But the reason why these champions are on the list is they don't play mid how mid should be played fundamentally, right? They do something to offset the balance of it, right? And so Riven is, you're really fishing for those all-ins, right? You're fishing for that mega war of attrition. And you're fishing for early game skirmishes, right? If you can get those, kind of like Viego mid that we covered a few patches ago. If you can get those things, she's gonna be great. If you can't, you're stuck 1v1ing, you're screwed, right? Like I played against Viper, who's like Giga rank 1. He's like 2.2k LP or something in NA. And he plays Riven mid. And even me, I'm only 1k LP. He is struggling against me in lane as Riven, right? So that should be a testament to how hard she is to lane with in mid.
Yeah. And of course, if you're really good, right? If Aloys pulls out Riven mid, if Viper pulls out Riven mid, they'll win some games.
They'll make it work. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
But it's not because of their mid lane fundamentals. That's the key.
That's right. Champ mastery, baby. Champ mastery is everything. So where would we put her? Probably somewhere C, counterpick tier.
Yep.
If you can get a decent matchup, you can play the game. Otherwise, not really.
Yep. Agreed.
And we're going to instantly put her away, because we don't want to keep her in the list. Zach. We got our fair share of Zach mid players in Europe. How about you guys?
Yeah, me too, actually. There's a few hot GM challengers, Zach mid players on my server, actually. Back in the day. I haven't seen them recently, but like a year or 2 years ago, I played against there's like 2 or 3 of these guys.
Okay.
I think he's good in mid.
I think it's too.
Just not good fundamentals. Yeah. So what I'll say is, like, Zach is actually really good. Like, he is one of the best war of attrition champions in the game. Probably the best. Like, probably even better than Vlad, honestly. That champ does not die in lane. Like, it's impossible to kill Zach in lane. So if you really want to play that war, if you're like a Vlad player, then I think you would like Zach, right? Because like he is really good at playing war of attrition. I think the weaknesses of Zach is he has not so great wave clear. Like, yeah, sure, you max E or whatever, but the wave clear is really awkward. And you're playing this weird mini game where you're just hoping the enemy has no idea how Zach Q works. Like, the second you understand how to play against Zach Q, he's a piece of shit, I think, in my opinion, in lane. You know, like, once you learn to sidestep his Q or not give him to the Q on the melee onto you into the E full combo, then you're fine, right? Like, what Zachs are playing for, they're playing for the Fog of War E or the Fog of War Q into 100 to 0 you. And if he doesn't get that, he's sitting there sustaining, sure, but then he's not doing anything else, right? And you get a free lane as well. So that's how I feel about Zach. A little gimmicky. I think he can work if the guy doesn't know how to play against Zach, or they don't know how to play against War of Attrition. But if the second they play against those tools, he kind of sucks, in my opinion.
Perfect. Spot on. Your first 5 Zac games against Zac as a
Yeah.
mid laner are going to be
You get
horrible
completely
because you
annihilated.
don't know how he trades.
Yeah.
You're going to lose. You're going to get solo kill. You're going to
Yep.
out sustained, and he's going to impact the map. Sucks. After that, you're going to be just fine. You're going to be scaling. You're going to get a 20 CS lead because CSing on those champs
Really
surprisingly
annoying.
pretty hard,
Yeah.
actually. So honestly, there's some champs that he does really well into.
Yeah,
Like
melees, he does really well too.
melees and champs without mobility, like the
Yeah.
Orianna, can get very annoying for him,
Yeah.
for them. But honestly, I don't really think that at a high level this champ is sustainable. It's a bit gimmicky, it's
Yeah.
cheesy. So I would also put him in C.
Yeah. I think I'd be a little bit higher up. I think I'll put him B just because he has a little bit better matchups than something like Riven, in my opinion, right? And he gets to stand in more of those matchups. I still don't think he's amazing by any means, though, but I think he can be solid. Like, I think if you're a Zac, you're just really good at Zac and you know how to play war attrition, I think you can climb with him for sure. I think he's just one of those chances to get hard capped. Like, I don't think he'll ever get past high GM with Zac or low challenger or anything like that. I think it's just impossible. So, yeah, that's my take on him.
Rumble. Now, Rumble used to be
Used to be
somewhat of a
really
mid
good mid.
laner,
Yeah.
and there was a really good reason for that. The reason why Rumble was a really good mid laner is because his trading potential, his all-in potential, was really, really insane.
Yeah.
But they nerfed Rumble because Rumble was completely overpowered.
Yeah.
So Rumble's all-in potential is not that insane anymore.
Yeah.
And that's why he's disappeared from mid lane. Because this champion is medium range with limited all-in tools and limited wave clear. And that makes him quite hard on mid
Yeah.
lane. I don't think he's good at the moment. How do you experience Rumble? I've not seen him in a year.
I haven't seen him in a while in mid. I do think he does actually have like decent wave clear, and he can play war attrition really well. But that's it. That's all he's got, in my opinion. Like you said, after the all-in got hit, I think his all-in is just mediocre in mid. Like he really needs to overheat to kill you in mid. So as long as you play around his overheat, you're chilling. And yeah, like overall, they just made him more of a bruiser, right? That was their goal, to put him in top lane. So I think, yeah, he's just not really suited to work well in mid right now, right? Like playing Aurora versus Rumble is already hard in top. It's probably even worse in mid. Like I don't even know what you're supposed to do in mid against that. You're just gonna be under your turret the whole game.
Whoa, look at all the champs,
Yeah,
by the
actually,
way.
all these champs. Yeah.
Holy shit, they fuck him.
Yeah. Like I'll say Viktor's the only one that's playable because you can just queue the wave and ignore him early game.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay.
At least the last time I played this matchup, it was over a year ago. I did play Viktor versus Rumble. He just ignored me and one shot the wave. But maybe after the changes to Rumble, that's not even possible. So I'm not sure with that one. But everything else is just unplayable for him.
Yeah.
On that list.
He's just not good at the moment, guys.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. I would say he's probably D tier, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's awful. Yeah.
He's just really bad. Now, Ambessa. We used to have Ambessa on the list.
Yeah.
We have an Ambessa expert sitting with us right here. So talk about her.
Yeah, so I actually would advocate leaving her on the list. You were adamant about her being off the list, but the reason why I like her on the list is that I don't think she's that gimmicky, right? Like she does have good fundamentals. Like if you think about let's take Yone, right? My baby Yone here, right? He plays war attrition, you play opportunistic trades, you play for wave clear and priority, and then you play for skirmishes with your ults. Guess what? Ambessa does literally all of that exactly 1-to-1, right? You play for opportunistic trades with your Q. You have the potential to one-shot waves if you need to, right? You can actually play for lane and lane control, right? You have all-in threat with your R. You have skirmishing. You have everything you need as a mid laner, right? So I think actually, me personally, just on an individual level, I actually quite like her, and I actually still play her. And actually, fun fact, Curtis is playing Ambessa now, and I'm the reason why, actually. I told him to play
convinced
Ambessa.
him.
Yeah, I convinced him. And he's been loving it. He's been having a blast. So I actually quite like her. She's not the most popular, and I think the reason being is, like, at least in my level of play, like, why would anyone play Ambessa mid if you're on a team and your team is fearless when you go play our top, right? Like, they're just going to all play our top. So it's like, in terms of an investment for, like, higher levels of play, I don't really think it's not that necessary. But yeah, she's good into a lot of these matchups, right? Like, the only one she struggles into is, like, Aurora, Talia, Ryze. I think everything else I'm pretty happy playing. Like I do well against Oris, I do well against Syndras. Because once you hit level 6, they have to be very careful with your R. It's not dodgeable like Yone's ult is, right? You just get blasted by it. And worst case scenario,
Really
you can
fast.
max E. So yeah, that's my monologue with Ambessa. I actually quite like her. She's not that popular, but I still play her and I do well with her, even on my main. So that's where I'm at with her.
What would you put her, like A tier?
Yeah, like I would say A tier. Yeah,
Next to Aurelia, maybe?
yeah. Next Irelia, very similar to Irelia. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Pretty legit. Yeah, I'm also going to play some Ambessa. So in a few weeks' time, when I found some time to play the game a little bit more, you guys also get my expert opinion on this
Oh,
champion.
oh boy.
We'll keep her in the list for now, all right?
Yeah.
Perfect. So if we look at high level, right, at all the changes that have been made this
Yep.
patch, what do you think? Do you think the T list that it's currently the way it's looking, do you think it's going to be correct? Is the S plus champ still S plus? Is S still S? What are your thoughts?
The only thing I'm thinking about is how the sustain and phase rush nerfs are going to hit our higher tier champs. Like, how's Celia going to fare now? How's Ryze going to fare? Right? Like, because it's all conjecture.
Yeah.
We're thinking it's not going to change that much, but it might, right? Like somehow Ryze might just feel like shit with weaker phase rusher. Celia might not play with the lack of sustain. Who knows, right? So keep an eye on that. I'm personally very excited to play Yone, and I'm already doing well this patch because I was already playing him in a way to not abuse D shield second wind. So that there could be a shift up there. Otherwise, I think all the other champs that didn't really get changed by runes and items, they're more or less the same. Right? Like I think Ari is chilling, Zed's chilling, Mel's chilling. All the rest of the champs I think we're good on. Just keep an eye out for the system changes and how that affects us. And yeah, we'll see from there.
Spot on, guys. I think that the T list is probably pretty good. I think that we're still going to see complete Ryze domination. Syndra, very popular.
Yep.
So if you guys have any questions for the next tier list that you guys want us to discuss, chuck it in the comments. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in 2 weeks' time where we're going to do another tier list video. Peace out, guys. Bye-bye.